Life sucks. Let's face it, unforeseen challenges and relentless stress can make us feel overwhelmed and out of control. But what if you could stand firm, unshakable, and serene, no matter what life throws your way? The ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy provides a path to this inner strength. As the philosopher Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This profound truth reveals that true freedom comes from mastering our own minds and reactions. Are you ready to gain control and resilience, rising above the chaos? Join us as we guide you through the Stoic principles that can transform your mindset, helping you become truly unbreakable in the face of adversity. Lesson 1. Lens of objectivity. Imagine a world where every situation is stripped of its emotional color, leaving only the raw data of what occurred. What would change in our responses, and how might our lives differ if we judged events not by their perceived impact on us, but by their simple truths? As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, poignantly noted, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This quote encapsulates a profound Stoic principle: the separation of reality from our perceptions of it. The wisdom here lies in the recognition that our interpretations often cloud the reality of events, adding layers of subjective emotion and bias. How might our lives transform if we could consistently apply this Stoic lens to our everyday experiences? In the Stoic tradition, one of the most fundamental practices is the separation of facts from interpretations. This habit involves discerning what actually happened from how we feel or think about what happened. For instance, if a colleague misses a meeting, the fact is simply that they were absent. However, our interpretation might spiral into assumptions about their respect for us or their professionalism. The Stoic practice encourages us to stick to the facts, avoiding the emotional burden that often accompanies our interpretations. How often do we react to situations based on our interpretations rather than the actual facts? By honing the ability to distinguish between the two, we can reduce unnecessary emotional turmoil and approach situations with clarity and calm. Another key Stoic habit is recognizing that every individual's actions are shaped by their unique experiences, knowledge, and external pressures. This perspective encourages us to see others' behaviors not as personal affronts but as reflections of their own internal and external worlds. For example, if someone is rude, a Stoic might consider what pressures or experiences might be influencing that person's behavior, rather than taking offense. This understanding fosters empathy and patience, helping us maintain emotional equilibrium. It invites us to ask ourselves, are we judging others too harshly without considering the broader context of their actions? By doing so, we can cultivate a more compassionate and balanced response to the behaviors of others, reducing personal hurt or anger. Premeditatio malorum, or the contemplation of potential negatives, is a Stoic practice designed to prepare the mind for adversity. By envisioning possible challenges or setbacks, we can mentally prepare ourselves to handle them with poise and objectivity. This practice doesn't mean expecting the worst at all times, but rather being ready for it, thus reducing the emotional impact when such events do occur. How can mentally preparing for potential negatives improve our resilience? By foreseeing possible challenges, we can face them without the shock or despair that often accompanies unexpected difficulties, allowing us to navigate through them more gracefully. The final Stoic practice we'll explore in this lesson is the focus on effort rather than outcome. Stoicism teaches that while we can control our actions and intentions, the outcomes are often beyond our control. This principle encourages a focus on doing one's best and maintaining integrity, regardless of the result. For example, in a job interview, a Stoic would focus on presenting themselves honestly and confidently, rather than stressing over whether they will get the job. How much of our emotional distress stems from attachment to outcomes we cannot control? By valuing our efforts over the results, we can find satisfaction in knowing we did our best, even if things do not turn out as we hoped. As we navigate life's complexities, adopting a Stoic lens can be profoundly liberating. It allows us to strip away the emotional clutter and see the world as it is, fostering a calm and balanced approach to whatever comes our way. In the end, isn't it more empowering to master our responses than to be at the mercy of our perceptions? Lesson 2. Act with intent. Imagine navigating through life like a captain steering a ship through stormy seas. The waves crash and the wind howls, yet the captain remains steadfast, guided by a clear destination and a steady hand. This image captures the essence of acting with intent, a core Stoic principle that provides clarity and calm amidst life's chaos. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus encapsulated this idea succinctly. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This quote speaks to the importance of self-knowledge and deliberate action, suggesting that a clear vision of who we want to be should guide our actions. But how often do we drift through life, reacting to events rather than consciously directing our responses? One of the cornerstones of Stoic philosophy is the emphasis on conscious decision-making. This practice involves making choices based on reason and virtue rather than on impulse or fleeting emotions. When we act with intent, we take the time to consider the consequences and ethical implications of our actions, ensuring that they align with our values and desired outcomes. This approach begs the question, how often do we make decisions impulsively, without fully considering their impact? By cultivating the habit of thoughtful decision-making, we not only reduce the likelihood of regret, but also foster a more stable emotional landscape, free from the turmoil that often accompanies hasty actions. Acting with intent also involves preparing emotionally for the challenges and uncertainties that life may present. Stoics practice emotional resilience by anticipating potential disturbances and accepting them as part of the human experience. This mental preparation enables us to face adversity with equanimity, as we are not caught off guard by life's inevitable ups and downs. This Stoic practice encourages us to ask, how can we better prepare ourselves for the emotional challenges we might face? By acknowledging that difficulties are a natural part of life and preparing ourselves mentally, we can maintain a calm and composed demeanor even in stressful situations, thereby enhancing our emotional resilience. Another key aspect of acting with intent is the focus on single, purposeful actions. In a world that often glorifies multitasking, Stoicism teaches the value of concentrating on one task at a time. This practice helps prevent the feeling of being overwhelmed by numerous responsibilities and the stress that comes with trying to juggle too many things at once. This prompts reflection. Are we spreading ourselves too thin by trying to do everything at once? By adopting a more deliberate and focused approach, we can manage our tasks more effectively, reducing stress and maintaining our mental stability even under pressure. Finally, Stoicism emphasizes living in accordance with one's nature and personal virtues. This involves having a clear understanding of one's purpose and consistently acting in ways that align with it. By grounding our actions in our core values and life's purpose, we build a strong sense of self-identity that is not easily shaken by external opinions or circumstances. This leads to an important introspective question. How well do we know our own values and purpose? By regularly reflecting on what truly matters to us and ensuring our actions reflect these values, we can cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and identity, fortifying ourselves against the sway of external validations or criticisms. To integrate these Stoic principles into daily life, try this practical exercise. Begin each day by setting an intention that aligns with your values and purpose. Reflect on potential challenges you might face and plan how you will address them with reason and virtue. Throughout the day, focus on completing one task at a time, and at the end of the day, review your actions to ensure they were guided by your initial intention. As we navigate the complexities of life, acting with intent offers a powerful tool for maintaining emotional stability. It helps us steer our lives with purpose and clarity, much like the captain guiding their ship through stormy seas. In a world full of distractions and uncertainties, isn't it empowering to know that we can choose our path with deliberate intent and unwavering focus? Lesson 3. Forgive and forget. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a grudge, a resentment, or a past hurt. As the weight grows, so does the burden on your mind and heart, slowing your progress through life. Now picture setting down that backpack and feeling the lightness and freedom that follows. This metaphor captures the essence of forgiveness, a practice deeply rooted in Stoic principles. The Stoic guru Epictetus once advised, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This wisdom suggests that by being lenient towards others' faults and demanding more accountability from ourselves, we can achieve inner peace and emotional stability. How might embracing forgiveness as a Stoic habit transform our emotional well-being and relationships? The first Stoic habit to explore is the maintenance of a tranquil mind. Stoics believe that external events or others' actions should not disturb our inner peace. Forgiveness plays a crucial role in achieving this tranquility by releasing negative emotions like anger and resentment. Holding on to grudges can be likened to gripping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. How much mental and emotional energy do we expend on holding on to grievances? By forgiving, we cut the ties of negative emotions that disturb our peace, fostering a calm and stable mind that is resilient to life's challenges. Forgiveness also aligns with the Stoic emphasis on emotional independence. Stoicism teaches that we should not allow others' actions to dictate our emotional state. By forgiving, we liberate ourselves from being emotionally reactive to the behaviors of others. This detachment doesn't mean we condone harmful actions, but rather that we refuse to be controlled by them. Consider this question: are we allowing others' actions to hold power over our emotional well-being? By practicing forgiveness, we gain the freedom to choose our responses, maintaining our emotional equilibrium and focusing on what truly matters. Another key Stoic value is the promotion of social harmony. Forgiveness is essential in clearing away grudges that can poison our personal and professional relationships. By forgiving, we not only release ourselves from the burden of resentment, but also open the door to constructive and cooperative interactions with others. This principle prompts a deeper inquiry. How do unresolved grudges impact our relationships and our ability to work harmoniously with others? Embracing forgiveness helps us cultivate peaceful relationships, fostering an environment of understanding and collaboration. Finally, forgiveness is closely tied to the Stoic principle of acceptance. Stoics advocate for accepting things as they are, without judgment or attachment. Forgiveness involves recognizing and accepting others' imperfections and the reality that things do not always go as we wish. This acceptance can help manage our expectations and reduce frustrations, leading to a more balanced emotional state. This Stoic principle encourages us to ask, how often do we resist reality and hold on to idealized expectations of others? By practicing forgiveness, we learn to accept people and situations as they are, which can greatly reduce emotional distress and cultivate a more serene perspective. Consider this practical exercise. At the end of each day, reflect on any lingering resentments or grudges. Write down the events and your feelings, then consciously decide to forgive. Acknowledge that everyone, including yourself, has flaws and makes mistakes. Visualize releasing the negative emotions tied to these events, and remind yourself of the peace that comes with letting go. Lesson 4. Moderate your desires. In a world driven by the pursuit of more wealth, more success, more possessions, it's easy to get caught in the endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. But what if the key to a stable and fulfilling life lies not in acquiring more, but in wanting less? The Stoic philosopher Seneca once posed a profound question. You ask, what is the proper limit to a person's wealth? First, having what is essential, and second, having what is enough. This quote underscores the Stoic principle of moderating desires, suggesting that true wealth comes from understanding and embracing sufficiency. How does this ancient wisdom apply to our modern lives, and how can moderating our desires foster emotional stability in the face of life's inevitable stresses? The first Stoic habit is the embracement of simplicity. A simple life, according to Stoicism, is one that is less cluttered, not just physically but also mentally and emotionally. By curbing excessive desires, we create space for what truly matters. This simplicity leads to fewer worries and complications, promoting mental clarity and stability. How often do we clutter our lives with unnecessary possessions or ambitions that drain our energy and focus? Living simply, with only what is essential, frees us to invest time and energy in activities that foster growth and happiness, rather than in maintaining and acquiring more. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from being master of one's own desires. This principle suggests that by conquering our desires, we gain autonomy over our passions and impulses, which can often disrupt rational thinking and emotional equilibrium. In other words, freedom is not just the absence of external constraints, but the mastery over internal desires. Are we truly free if we are constantly driven by our desires? Or is it a form of self-imposed bondage? By learning to moderate our desires, we liberate ourselves from the constant chase for external validations and fleeting pleasures, gaining a deeper sense of inner peace and freedom. Another benefit of moderating desires is the cultivation of emotional resilience. Stoics believe that by desiring less, we protect ourselves from the disappointment and distress that often follow unmet desires. When our happiness is not tied to specific outcomes, we become less vulnerable to the ups and downs of fortune. This Stoic practice prompts a thoughtful question: how much of our emotional turmoil stems from unfulfilled desires and expectations? By lowering our attachment to specific outcomes, we can navigate life's unpredictability with greater composure and resilience, knowing that our well-being is not dependent on external circumstances. Finally, Stoics prioritize virtue and rational living over material gain or external validation. By reducing our desires, we can focus more on developing virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. This shift from external to internal pursuits leads to a more meaningful and stable life. What truly matters in our lives, and how often do we allow trivial desires to overshadow these priorities? By aligning our actions with our core values and focusing on personal growth, we can achieve a deeper sense of fulfillment and stability. To practice Stoic moderation in daily life, start by identifying areas where desires might be excessive or misaligned with your values. Consider a practical exercise. For a week, try living with less in a specific area, whether it be material possessions, social media usage, or even food choices. Reflect on how this affects your mood and mental clarity. This exercise can reveal the surprising freedom and peace that come from wanting less and appreciating more. In the end, isn't the pursuit of less, when guided by wisdom and virtue, a more profound and satisfying journey than the endless chase for more? Lesson 5. Master adaptability. Imagine life as a river, constantly flowing and changing, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent. As we navigate this river, our ability to adapt to its changing currents becomes crucial for maintaining balance and peace. Marcus Aurelius aptly captured this concept with the words, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." This quote highlights the Stoic acceptance of change as a fundamental and natural aspect of life. By mastering adaptability, we can learn to see change not as a loss, but as a transformation that can bring new opportunities and growth. How can embracing this Stoic principle of adaptability help us maintain emotional stability in the face of life's inevitable shifts? Stoics advocate for setting flexible goals that can be adjusted as circumstances change. This flexibility allows us to adapt our plans in response to new information or unexpected events, preventing frustration and disappointment that can arise from rigid adherence to outdated plans. By remaining open to adjustments, we can navigate changes more smoothly, maintaining our emotional equilibrium and continuing to progress toward our objectives, even if the path changes along the way. Another Stoic practice is maintaining gratitude, especially during times of change and uncertainty. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what remains positive and constant, even as other aspects of life fluctuate. This practice anchors us, providing a stable base of positivity that can help ward off negative emotions during tumultuous times. How can we cultivate gratitude when faced with unexpected changes? By consciously acknowledging and appreciating the good things that persist, we can maintain a sense of stability and resilience, even when life's currents are swift and unpredictable. A fundamental Stoic habit is to embrace every experience as an opportunity for learning and self-improvement. Stoics view life's challenges not as setbacks but as valuable lessons that contribute to personal growth. This mindset turns failures into stepping stones, reducing the emotional burden they often carry and fostering adaptability. How often do we view setbacks as failures rather than learning experiences? By adopting a Stoic perspective, we can transform challenges into opportunities for growth, thus enhancing our ability to adapt and thrive in changing circumstances. The final Stoic practice we'll explore is emotional detachment from the outcomes of our actions. Stoics focus on the process rather than the results, understanding that while we can control our efforts, the outcomes are often beyond our control. This detachment helps mitigate feelings of anxiety or disappointment linked to specific results, allowing us to remain stable and composed regardless of the outcome. This principle raises an important question. How much of our emotional distress is tied to expectations of specific outcomes? By shifting our focus to the quality of our actions rather than their results, we can cultivate a more serene and adaptable mindset, less swayed by the ups and downs of life's outcomes. To cultivate Stoic adaptability in your life, try this practical exercise. At the end of each day, reflect on any unexpected changes or challenges you encountered. Consider what you learned from these experiences and what you can be grateful for despite the changes. Additionally, practice detaching from the outcomes of your actions, focusing instead on the effort and intention behind them. And that concludes our time together for today. As you embark on your own transformative journey, share your progress in the comments. Together, let's build a community of like-minded individuals who are dedicated to improvement through practical Stoic wisdom. If you found this video valuable, like and subscribe so we can continue sharing Stoic wisdom with the world. Until next time, my friends.